Yo, 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 what is up? We are back with our San Francisco 49ers B.S. And we've got Raj. Oh, whoa. Somebody forgot to turn off the thing. A little echo there. We got Raj here from our San Francisco 49ers and me, the big bonehead, with his phone going and not silenced. It's me, is Ryan. How's it going, everyone?
What's up, Ryan? I like the intro, the little echo.
Bro, I was like, where did that come from? I shouldn't have another window open on this thing. And then I realized, oh, yeah, I was talking to everybody in the chat, letting them know we'd be there in a second. And, oh, got Joe Stevens in the house. Got to give a shout out to Joe Stevens here. I can't remember. I think it was on my channel. He opened a pack of like 1990 baseball cards.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, guess the person, and you can have the pack. So I guessed Steve Young.
Ooh.
And guess who came with it?
Oh, look at that, man. Oh,
Roger Craig, baby.
Roger Craig, man. That's sick.
And then
bro.
This is one I'm low-key really excited about. Randall McDaniel.
Look at that. I love it, man.
Vinny Testaverde.
Ooh, Vinny, man. That guy was in the league for like 50 years. I was talking to someone about him today. It was so funny.
And then he thought, I can't send Ryan just that all by itself. Oh, we got Darwin's Raven in the house. What up, Darwin? But then he got me this.
Ooh, look at that. Oh, a whole pack of cards.
No, it's a whole team.
Oh, the whole 49ers set.
1993.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Bro. I was like, that's cool as hell.
That's
so
cool.
Shout out to Joe Stevens here. Hit him up.
Good dude.
He's hey, if you ever want to interview a Seahawks fan, get in the mind of him. Shout out to Joe. Go talk to him. He's a season ticket holder.
Let's do it. Yo, Joe, when the season starts, because we do, when it's a Seahawk week, hop in. We'll get you on and we'll do a game day preview with the Seahawk fan. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah. I do a show with him every Wednesday called The Rivalry.
Oh, I like it. Spicy.
Yeah. So, let's see. What should we get into first? Let's talk about Treadwell.
Okay, yeah, Laquon Treadwell, 49ers hosted a visit. Behind the scenes, I heard some stuff, but I can't tell you all that stuff. But Laquon Treadwell, he did visit with the 49ers today. According to Tom Pelissero, he's a former first-round pick out of Ole Miss. 2016 was drafted, been in the league 7 years. He's played for Atlanta, Minnesota, Seattle. He's bounced around the league. He's, a veteran guy, nothing crazy. I remember when he was coming out, I was like, ooh, I like this guy, but he's never really panned out to his draft stock. He was a first-round pick. He was like number 23 in the draft. He was a highly touted guy coming out of the draft.
Yeah, they talked about him for about 2 years, and then I don't remember anything about him ever since then.
Yeah.
And in fact, when I saw the news on Twitter, I was like, how is that any sort of breaking news? You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand we're in a big drought right now, but you know what I mean? Like, this guy, and I had to look at the name again and go, wait a second. He was something.
Mm-hmm.
This to me is like, it's almost on the same level as Willie Snead coming to the 49ers last year.
I know. I feel he's not like this elite guy, but it's just one of these guys they can have on the roster because what happens through the year? They get injuries. They get people that need to take a week off or something like that. So they put him on a practice squad and then they elevate him. It's just one of those guys. Even if he doesn't sign on, make the final roster, he'll sit there on the practice squad and then he can be called up. They can elevate him. So I feel like that's kind of what Laquon Treadwell is going to do for the 49ers. He's not going to be starting a lot of games. He might not even make the final roster, but he's going to be one of those guys where they can call up because they have a lot of guys on speed dial, right? They call him up 1 week, then they cut him, they go to the practice squad, call him up. I feel like he's going to be one of those type of guys.
Yeah, no, totally. I just don't know if Kyle might Kyle and how he uses the wide receivers. It seems to get things out of people. You know what I mean? Juaun Jennings was a dog. We all knew that. But Juaun Jennings wasn't having the same kind of success in college as he's had in the NFL.
I don't know, man. In Tennessee, Juaun Jennings was that dude. He was actually he was that dude in Tennessee. Like he was one of their top guys. But
Well,
it
yeah,
was
but I just mean like both for instances aren't same.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like with the level of the talent that he's going up against with the NFL, it seems to me like he's would be just as consistent as he was in college, and that makes him better in the pros. You know what I mean? Because if you could
Oh
be
yeah, I
just
get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I think Jennings has had a better career so far than Treadwell. Is that kind of what you're saying?
oh,
Maybe.
most definitely,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jennings has
And
been clutch, man. Third down machine.
and I think it's like you just get the right guy who can just sell out to the system and know all I have to do is be really good at taking care of my responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know, not that I have to be an athlete. I don't have to be an athlete. I just have to be a player, a teammate. And that's I think when people can stop putting themselves first and realize, oh, it's just a team thing, and I just need to go out and make sure I do the stuff I'm responsible for, then it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I think
Actually, I agree because Jennings, he's not like the elite, he's not like Brandon Ayuk. He's not the leader of the pack in the 49ers. Obviously, we know that. But he knows his role and he does it well. He's a blocker. He's going to be your possession guy. On third down, you need a guy. He could be a red zone. Like he knows he's going to get very few chances, but when he gets them, he makes the most of those chances. He's clutch, man, and his blocking is absolutely critical to this 49ers offense. In the
and
second
he
level,
gets
whew,
people try to people get mad at the way he blocks and he never, he gets hit and he never lashes back out. You know what I mean? That's like the one thing is responsibilities. Your responsibility is to block the crap out of that guy. And when he retaliates and all this, you just need to smile in his face and know that you won.
yeah,
And you know what I mean? Don't hit him back. That's going to hurt the team. You know
it
what I
is.
mean? It's those type of things.
He gets under their skin
Yep.
and he wants the cornerback to go out and lash out. I think it was the Jaguars game. He was getting under their skin, like he was coming, bringing the blocks. He was hitting them hard, and I mean nothing illegal. And then they got mad, and I remember the cornerback was getting in his face, and you see Jennings like, come at me, bro. They were throwing flags, and he got fired up. Kyle Shanahan got fired up, and Jennings is just like, let's go, man. This guy is such a like energy create. Like he's just a spark plug. He kind of like, I don't know if you watch basketball, but kind of like one of those spark plug type players in the NBA, like Draymond Green, man. He gets these, the Warriors like wow. Sometimes he just goes out there and he does these things where it like fires the team up, and that's what Jennings does. He comes out there, lays a block, the other team gets pissed off, and then they gets in their head, man. He's a dog, absolute dog.
Joe says he's a big body, played for us last year.
Yeah, Treadwell. He did. He played for the Seahawks last year. Didn't do a whole lot, but again, he could be a blocker. He is a big dude. He's a big guy.
And it's kind of hard to get snaps there in Seattle with the
Correct.
two wide receivers in front,
Yeah. Yeah, he did play for Seahawks last year. I'm taking a look at his. I mean, obviously he didn't have the sexy season, but he played 6 games. He had 6 catches, 42 yards. So obviously, yeah, he was a depth guy. He's a blocking type guy. That's what he can do. And if the 49ers, you need depth at the end of the day. Like I said, maybe they call him up for a few games through the season practice squad. But again, it was just a workout, nothing official. But sometimes these workouts could lead to signing. So maybe we'll hear something tomorrow. Maybe we'll hear some.
If they sign him, do you think they use a pick on a wide receiver?
Oh, I still think they take a wide receiver.
Yeah.
This is the way I look at it. 11 draft picks. At the end of the day, you got to take the best available player. If there's a really good wide receiver that's there, don't pass on him because you never know what's going to happen. Because again, you got to pay these players. Brandon Ayuk, obviously, we expect him to come back, but you never know. You never know.
You can draft half an offense and half a defense with this many picks.
Yeah, man. And then you develop.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. I think they will. Yeah.
That's why I said, look, 3 tackles. I know I get laughed at, but really, if you think about it, you don't need all those picks. What you need is to hit.
Yeah.
And if you're going to spend 2 picks and only hit on 1 or maybe none, why you should have just done 3. You know what I'm saying? Because you got better chance to hit.
Yeah. I think they trade up. I absolutely think they're going to trade up. So my prediction was they have 11 draft picks, right? I think they end up with 7. I think they end up with 7. Like they'll trade up to move here and there a few spots, jockeying for position, and then they'll trade up a few spots. But I think they'll end up with 7 picks. But who knows?
I how does I don't I don't know. The way I've seen things, like, as far as mock drafts, it seems like to move up, you gotta give too much up to move into even to the second round.
But
And you
they're even going to move up that high. I think it's going to be, and it's just going to be a very simple, like, okay, let's say they have a 5th-round pick, and it's pick, I'm just making this up, 135, and they want to move to 127 because there's a guy they have on their draft board, and they're like, I don't know if he's going to make it to 135, so they go up to 130. Like, I think they'll take a 5th and a 7th to move up to that 5th round that's early. That's what I think they're going to do. Nothing like, I don't even think they're going to even try to move up to second round. Like, they might, but I think it's just going to be more like that kind of trade up.
It all depends, I guess, on how the board goes. You know,
Yeah.
if there's a run on tackles, you know what I mean? They might have to give up some capital from next year.
They might. They might. I don't know. I think they're content with their players, though, that they got through the free agency. I know they lost some players, but I think they feel like they're in a good place, that now they just need to fill some, depth holes, get some players they can develop. Like, I think the only position that they absolutely need to make sure they get some, like, quality starters that could come in a year or two, edge, and like I said, yeah, edge and right tackle, or a tackle in general, because we don't know what happens with Trent Williams next year.
Edge, tackle, tight end, and safety.
Safety, yeah. Oh, safety, yeah. You're right, because
And tight end.
you're
Because
right.
who knows about Kittle?
No.
Wouldn't it be nice to have Kittle's successor on the team before he leaves?
Yeah,
If
I
he
think they're
leaves?
going to get. There was
Injury?
reports today. There was reports today that I think NFL draft scout Matt Miller said that the 49ers have done more work than any team in terms of scouting a tight end this year. So that tells me they're going to get a premium tight end in this draft, right?
To me, I don't understand. After seeing this year and how potent that 21 personnel can be, I don't understand how you don't just screw everybody by going to 22 personnel yet next year, and then taking out a tight end and bringing in a wide receiver and really, screwing with them. You know what I mean? Because you can, oh man, because when you make them go heavy on the 2 tight end set, then they might go light when you go to the 21 personnel set. And so if you bring everybody in the box and run straight ahead, mismatches.
Yeah.
And if they're going to bring all the big boys in to stop you from running up the gut when you got the double tight end set, then spread them all out, mismatches.
It's going to be nasty, man. I 100% though. They absolutely have to get another tight end, because George Kittle, he's 30 years old. We know how hard he works. We know how hard he trains. It's all over social media, and we know how hard he plays. The guy's a phenomenal player, but 30 years old, the way he plays, eventually he's not going to be that guy anymore. So you got to get his successor, and you need a guy to take some pressure off him. He blocks so much. Maybe go get a guy that can go out there and just be a fucking beast in the pass catching game, right? And Kittle can block, or vice versa. Some guy that can help Kittle with the blocking. I know they have Charlie Warner, but I feel like he just hasn't really.
Who's that?
Who's that blocker?
Who's that 6'11" tight end that they were working out the other day? Or not tight end, right tackle.
Oh,
remember, Lombardi posted it, and then Ted H was like, 6'8" wasn't good for McGlinchey. Why are we going for 6'9" or a 6'11"?
Was that the pro day? At the pro day?
Yeah. The local 49ers pro day, whatever tryout thing.
There's a lot of guys there. And the 49ers always look into their pro day that they do, and local pro drafted guys from that. So I could see
that guy looks like a tight end.
Yeah, he does. He was skinny.
Dude, a tight end. Like, just teach that guy to catch. Fire Charlie Warner. That guy can already block. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can already block. Just teach him how to catch, bro.
A lot of tackles were tight ends, or vice versa. Joe Staley was a tight end in college, before he got converted. Might as well.
That is crazy that a tight end converted to left tackle and became one of the best one in the league at any given point in time in their career.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, make that guy a tight end.
Might as well, man.
Instead of trying to, I don't know, make these wide receivers that you draft that are supposedly tight ends. I don't know. I like Charlie Warner. How to put this? He can block well. He's like a Nick Bosa, but a tight end. You know what I
He's
mean?
a
He's
good,
kind of
good blocker, but I don't think he's. I mean, he's not
yeah.
George Kittle blocker. I think they were
No.
expecting him to be like, okay, we're gonna have a guy that can be like George Kittle, and then George Kittle could be George Kittle in the offense. So it's hard to replay. George Kittle's just so special, man. He's so good. Like he's 101, man. Like we know he's so good. Like people always say, oh, Kelsey clears him so much. Travis Kelsey. I get it. Travis Kelsey, phenomenal. Stats don't lie. He's amazing. But what George Kittle does in the blocking department, like it's second to none. And he's a phenomenal beast in the passing game too. Like he could put up Travis Kelsey numbers. You both put him with Patrick Mahomes, and he'll probably have the same stats that Kelsey has every single year in, year out. But the route running that Kittle does, like his yards after the catch, the guy is to me, he's just as good as Kelsey. I respect Kelsey. I think it's like 1A, 1B. But the thing with Kittle is his blocking takes him to another level. So that's why I think he's better.
So Raj or John V wants us to move off of our 99 and our 101st and future third and get Zach Harrison.
Do it. That's a great player. He can be a day one starter. And that to me is if they are going to make a big splash trade, that's probably what it would be. Is they take 2 third-round picks and they move up to go get a second-round pick, and then you're set. And then you draft your late-round picks that you're going to hit because Adam Peters is a solid certified G, and you know he's going to hit on every late-round pick. So yes, I would be cool with that, 100%.
And then John V says, "Fuck that, fire Dwelly." Now I got pushed back on this because Dwelly catches the ball.
Does he?
But yeah, oh yeah. Tell me how many attempts he's got, and how many receptions he's got.
Well, maybe
Riddle me this.
Attempts,
Riddle me this, Raj.
But maybe he doesn't get a lot of attempts because he's dropping passes in practice or something. I don't know.
What does it matter if you're dropping passes in practice when you're a dime on the field?
Kyle Shanahan needs to see that dog in practice. He don't trust you.
I remember people talking about Brock Purdy saying he wasn't really that special when they saw him in training camp and all that stuff like that. But they just knew that when he got on the field, he was good.
I don't know. I need more than Ross Dwelly. I don't see that. Like,
I'm just saying I'd rather keep Dwelly than Warner.
No, I need them both. I need another. This is my thing. The 49ers are so heavy in tight ends, like you said, the 21 personnel and whatnot, and the way that they run their zone blocking and help out their offensive line. I think you keep Warner, you keep Dwelly because you need depth, but you need another like star type tight end and give Kittle a running mate out there because I don't think Dwelly's that guy. I think you still draft a tight end who can be a star, and then you have these backups, these depths, because you don't want to wear everybody out. You still need depth. I think you go 4 tight ends, man, and I'm good with it. You can have Dwelly, you can have Warner, you can have Kittle, and whoever the hell they draft. There's a lot of tight ends this year.
I would also go after that Hunter Lemke or whatever from South or North Dakota State. I would have him as my 4th tight end, even though he's a fullback. I would keep him as my 4th tight end.
You can shift the fullback to tight end when there's so many good tight ends in this year's draft class this year.
I'm drafting the fullback and I'm drafting a tight end, and both them staying on the squad. So between Charlie and Dwelly, one of them out, depending on the blocking skills of everybody else in the room. The 2 guys I pick up.
And if Juice leaves in a year or 2, then you got a guy that can transition.
This is what I'm talking about.
Okay. I see you.
You tracking with me?
I see you, Adam Peters light.
Bro, I'm trying to stay 1 to 2 years ahead of everything.
Okay, I feel it. That was good. That was nice. You sold me.
Just saying. And all else fails, what happens? The guy, I guess he's very good in the passing game and he can run. Oh no, we can find a spot for him on certain plays. We can find a spot for him on special teams.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. I'll call up. Okay, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, bro. Tell Trey to tell them. I want to give a shout out to Aaron from 49ers First Takes. What up, Aaron? Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We've got Darwin in the house saying the 49ers have been in contact with Dakota Allen, Eastern Kentucky, Davis Allen, Clemson, Cameron Latu from Alabama, and Zach Kuntz from Old Dominion.
Those last two guys, okay, they're all pretty solid. But Cameron Latu, I like him. But Zach Kuntz, this guy, he's a freaking athlete. Like this guy, oh man, if we get Zach Kuntz, I'll be hyped up. This guy's a super prospect. I think he can develop into something special. I would love it. I would take Zach Kuntz.
Taryn Lewis, shout out to Taryn. I was watching his show earlier today, Mariah Faithfully podcast. They do a great show over there. Make sure to go check them out. Like, I got other cards that I got. They're all stacked up here, but like I got these cards from going in. There's a Trey Lance right there. Let me get this. Elijah Mitchell see-through. You know what I'm saying? This is the Brandon Ayuk see-through.
Oh,
so
fresh.
Make sure you go check out Taryn and Mariah. They got a great show over there.
Nice.
But he says picks 99, 101, and 202 only gets you to pick 61. So that doesn't necessarily. That's not bad.
I mean, yeah, I feel like if you're gonna trade, and I think that's pretty accurate. Like you trade 2 or 3 third-round picks, you're gonna get like mid.
Would you take out, let's say, the 101 and trade like a third round from next year and maybe see if that would work better?
It probably wouldn't. Not for next year. They don't care about third round next year. I think, yeah, we're probably gonna have to trade up those 3 picks to move up to mid second round. So again, then you have to really think the guy that you're taking at 61, is he that good? Is he that up your?
Oh, he said 102. He meant.
Yeah. Okay, 102. So you're taking all 3 for third round
and
picks.
That's what I don't like.
That's the only thing, because you can find talent in third round. And that 3 third round picks, I really feel like they can get a good core of players in those 3 picks, because it's like almost back to back to back. Like, yeah, okay, if there's someone that you absolutely think slid down, like last year, they got Drake Jackson in the 60s, right? In that second round. And that was, for them, it was a big steal because he was a first round talent, really. But he kind of slid down. If they see someone like that they think they can go and get, then yeah, maybe they're going to have to trade these third round picks. But personally, I think all 3 of those picks could get them a good edge. They could get them a good solid tackle, a good safety, or a good tight end. And those are the 4 picks, like you said, that we can probably utilize in this draft. And those 4 picks can be, boom, your first 4 picks. And those third round picks, to me, I think there's some really good quality to be had at those spots, man. I don't know. I could see them moving up because it's the Niners and they always are wheeling and dealing, and John Lynch has tricks up his sleeve. But I could also see them staying pat and going, boom, here comes Byron Young. Boom, here comes a tackle or something. Here comes Cameron Latu or, Sam Laporta or something. And boom,
could the moving up be from like the 5th to the 4th?
Yeah.
Because this is the way I see it. I see them wanting to move up, but if you're going to and also I want people to understand with those 3 picks, though, 99, 101, and 102, don't be mad when they're picking somebody who might get picked, 20 spots down the road, or you know what I mean? Their draft, the number that they don't pick till like the 5th round after these. You know what I mean? So they have to get everybody they want at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't worry about where they're predicted to be drafted. This is where the Niners they got 3 shots all at once. They're going to get the guys that they really believe in here. And then they're going to have to sit back and watch the board. And I think if they find anybody who, a third round that is slipping further, they might pair something to move up and get them in the 4th round. You know what I mean?
I said earlier is I feel like if they're going to move up, they're going to bundle some picks to move up. That's why I said, yeah, okay, 11 picks might turn into 7 because, okay, you got to take like a handful of picks to go get that guy you really want. If like, oh crap, teams are calling, or this and that, and you got to kind of get the vibe of the board. It's tough, man. The draft board, it's got to be tough. You got to be sweating. You're probably like trying to figure out what teams are looking for this player because, he's on your board. And the draft room, man, I can imagine it's probably pandemonium. It's chaos. And you got to make sure you get the guys you want because you got your board, but other teams have a board. And you got to know, well, maybe New Orleans has this guy that we have number 5 on our board. Maybe they have him at number 4. We got to leapfrog them. So it's a game, man. It's I can't imagine being in there.
There's been some articles written about Blake Freeland being tied to the 49ers. I was reading one of those earlier today. I don't know if it's on the 49ers end, but it seems like I know David McNiner, one of our, community members here. He's all about Blake Freeland.
Yeah, I like
And
Blake.
yeah, and I've heard it from a lot of people. I don't know.
He'd be a good tackle, but again, he's a little skinny guy. But you give him a year to train and develop and learn behind Trent and these other guys. You give him a year or two, and that's usually the 49ers. When they take O lineman, it is kind of like a red shirt type thing. It's you sit and develop and learn. Aaron Banks, perfect example. He was a guy when he came in, not a lot of people believed in him, and then boom, he worked out. He got in great shape, and now I'm like, wow, this guy's gonna be a dog. I'm excited about Aaron Banks in the future. So yeah, Freeland could be a guy that maybe they take him, but again, he will probably have to be a guy you trade up for. I don't think he goes at 99. Maybe, and if he does drop to 99, then you absolutely take him at 99.
You remember when, they sat Banks that first year, and then it came out the next year. No, Banks could have played. We just didn't want to ruin the chemistry of the team.
Yeah, because they had Laquon.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, they had Lincoln, but they were going to put him at right guard. He was trying out at right guard at that point in time. Remember?
Yeah.
And then he wasn't doing well, so then they, kind of put him on the back burner.
Yeah, he got hurt too. Yeah, I remember in preseason.
Right. So then last year we got Burford, and then to mess with the chemistry, they're swapping him and Brunskill out.
Well, I think also too, because I remember Burford was he had an interview, and I talked to him a little bit, and he says a lot of that was just Brunskill was there to kind of help guide him a little, and also one of I remember the thing that Kyle said about Drake Jackson was, the reason he kind of got benched towards the end of the season is he just didn't have the stamina, the energy, the strength to finish through a season. I think because Brunskill split reps with Burford initially, and he was kind of rotating him, I think that allowed him to kind of play deeper into the season, because you got to remember, these guys coming in from college, they're playing maybe 11, 12 games. The NFL, regular season 17, plus then playoffs is 18, 19, 20, a lot of games. So I feel like that maybe benefited him.
Plus, I'm sure you exert yourself more in an NFL game than you ever did in a college game.
100%, absolutely. So, yeah, I think it was smart to have that rotation, and I think that's why they got these guys this year. You got, Pryor and Feliciano to come in and maybe spell them a few reps here and there. But I wish they would have been able to do, and that's what they did, with Drake Jackson too, because you had a Menahu and a Ebicam and all those guys, but they got hurt at times. So then there was a lot more. There were some games where Drake had to step up his reps. But again,
it still doesn't make sense though, because it's not a consistent stance on anything.
But Kyle's never consistent on stuff. You know that.
I just don't know why he tries to act like, oh, we couldn't have done this because we didn't want to do this, when that's clearly not the reason.
Kyle's Kyle, man.
Because you're willing to throw that out the window the next year. Like, it doesn't make any freaking sense to me.
Kyle's Kyle, man. I can't read the guy. He says stuff. And
bro, you're not a freaking MLB pitcher, bro. You don't need to, your livelihood isn't on trying to make sure they don't know what your pitch is. Oh, snap. Randy Johnson?
Yeah.
So Randy Johnson, I can't remember. There was this guy who was at they were at the Hall of Fame, and Randy Johnson was there with his kid, and this guy walked past, and he stopped the guy and to tell his kid, this guy hit 4 home runs off me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how the hell he did it, but he hit 400 home runs or four home runs off me. And the guy, who's a non-Hall of Famer, he's like, not really an anybody for the most. I can't remember his name even. He's like, how'd you know? He's like, well, you were giving away your sign. And he's like, what? How? And he says, Randy, go to throw your fastball. He goes like this, and his gloves really pointed like this. He goes, go to throw your curveball, and it's like out like this.
Oh shit!
And then they had somebody take a picture, and then he showed him the picture, and Randy was like, oh man. He's like, I can't believe this and that. He's like, Randy, I still had to hit that 99-mile-an-hour ball. You don't act like it was easy. Just because I knew what was coming.
Still throwing the heat. That guy
was
a big unit. That guy was just massive. That guy was a beast, man. He was a hell of a pitcher, man.
Dusted a dove.
Yeah, I remember that when the dove just exploded. I was like, what?
I remember people being all mad at him. Like, because he somehow, bro, you think he was trying to hit a bird? No. Got a shot out.
The odds of that were just like crazy. The odds of that happening, of Dove to just happen to come at the split second you throw the fastball, and I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, I remember when I used to watch baseball, that was one of my favorite players. He was a monster, man. Loved him.
And we got Bryant Culp in the building.
Yeah.
We got Randy Daytona. Shout out to everybody.
Oh,
Chat is popping.
First and second rounders to trade. Yeah, that's true. They could trade future picks. You never know.
That's what I see. Because I don't think I don't think our picks after our third round are worth much, essentially, to really help us. So I see us maybe moving off a second round pick next year, maybe, because we do have a lot of comp picks next year.
Yeah,
so yeah. So I'm thinking, shout out to Jess from East Coast Red and Gold podcast. Her birthday is tomorrow. Make sure you hit her up on Twitter. She's going to be 29 again.
There we go. 21.
21,
right?
29. No. We could. There was I don't know if you ever heard of him, but his name was Jack Benny.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Benny was
name. Yeah.
Played the clarinet. He had a show back in the day, like, back when it was, segregated times. Yeah. And his show was him in Rochester. It was Jack Benny in Rochester. And Rochester was a black man. It was his chauffeur. And the whole dynamic of the show was Jack Benny walking around saying all this stuff, looking like an idiot, and Rochester just clowning on him.
Wow.
And so, like, that was like really something for the days, because, you're talking about black man's make a joke on a white guy. You know what I mean? And that was the kind of show. So Jack Benny, one of my all-time favorites. He played the clarinet. Oh. Or wait, was it the violin? It might have been the violin. He was horrible.
He said he was horrible.
But he's just one of those people in history who we had to have. You know what I mean? Like, life wouldn't be the same without Jack Benny. He was just a hoot. Shout out to Jack Benny. Then we got Beto in the house.
What's up, big Beto?
Niners Sickness. Everybody go check out Beto, Niners Sickness. He's got a great show. He's always on. In fact, he's been working with trivia and bingo on Saturday nights. He's trying to figure out how to streamline his bingo show a little bit more. But yeah, he's always popping on Saturday nights. Go check him out.
Let's go, baby. Let's get him up.
Jess, obviously, they do their show on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific. So make sure to check them out.
Nice.
And Bryant always have shows Saturday and Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning normally. So check him also.
Got a lot of content creators in this group, man. Niners love it, man.
And then we got the locker room rant with John V and all the guys. Yep. So holy smokes, give everybody their roses. Let's talk about something kind of interesting. You had brought up something about Trey Lance, and I wish you to kind of let tell the people what you kind of told me.
Okay. Yeah, as we all know Trey Lance is out there working with Patrick Mahomes, and he's been in Dallas or Fort Worth area. He's been in Texas training. He's at TCU training. This guy's been working his butt off. Like, I know we see the videos. I know we see like small tidbits here and there, but I don't think people realize just how much he is put himself in this, like, this bubble. Basically, he is just committed himself. Like, you know how we see like people like Christian McCaffrey, and we're like, oh man, that guy trains like crazy. Look at Kittle, his work ethic. Like, you see all these people working. Trey Lance is working so crazy this offseason. From things I've heard from people I know, I can't sit here and tell you everything I know, but Trey Lance has been working so hard. Sometimes his family doesn't even know what the hell he's up to, because he's just so busy. Like, he's not returning calls or texts sometimes, like, for hours, because he's just grinding, working, putting in just hours of work, man. This guy is dedicated and just committed. He's hungry this year. Whether you think he's going to be good or not, whether he pans out or not, whatever happens, let's just know that this offseason, I'm sure he's done it every offseason, but this year, he is making sure that he is putting his pedal to the metal and leaving no, like, turns unturned, like no stone uncovered, or whatever the phrase is. He's making sure that he is out there and leaving nothing, he's just going out there and putting his ass out on the line. Like he's making sure he's making all his efforts count this offseason. He is training so hard, man. Like people don't even know what the hell he's up to. He's just working every day. It's crazy.
So it seems like he's gonna try and body Sam Darnold in training camp.
Oh,
That's what I'm hearing.
And to me, from the sense I get is, like I said, he's so hungry. But yeah, he wants to make this competition like laughable. Like that's what it is. He's coming out with fire in his belly. Like, yeah, again, shout out to him with training with Patrick Mahomes. And again, I'm excited to hear the interviews in a few months when players are, having press conferences to hear who reached out to who, whatever. But the fact that he knows he's training with the guy like Patrick Mahomes tells me everything. It's like, man, this guy is hungry. Go train with, Patrick Mahomes. Go train with this guy. Go train with this guy. Just work. Like he is just working nonstop, man. The guy's just putting his effort to make sure that he has this job, or at least he can come in and show Kyle, like, yo, look at me. He wants to make this so hard for Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch that when they see him, they're gonna be like, oh God, this is the guy we drafted. This is the guy we drafted. So it's motivating him. Whatever's happened over the last year or two, it's motivating him to go out there because he wants to start. He wants to compete. He said it in a couple months ago. He says, look, I just want the opportunity. I don't want the job handed to me. I'm going to work so I can compete. And that's exactly what he's doing.
Did Kyle, how to put this? Oh, what is it? Remember in the Matrix?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Neo went to go see the Oracle?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Remember what she told him? I'm sorry, honey, but you're not the one.
Pretty much what Kyle told him, huh? He pretty much
It wasn't true. She told him exactly what he needed to know to get the type of response out of him.
And it pushed him to be the one. And I honestly, who was I talking to yesterday? I can't remember, but we were live and I said the same thing. And then they asked me, I was Wayne. Me and Wayne were talking. It was on our R&B show. And I told him, I said, honestly, I feel like this is a tactic that Kyle and Lynch may have done to say, yeah, you're not the one. Brock's our guy. He's the one. You're not the one. And now Trey Lance, okay, I'm not the one. Let me go out there. And he's putting it all there so he could be the one. Money motivates.
I believe we actually talked about that a couple weeks ago.
We did. I think that's why it was in the back.
It was in the head.
Talked, yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to you and Wayne Breezy for that R&B show. That looks like it could be one of the best shows of the week.
Yeah, it's a fun show, man.
I just, like I told you, I need to see like you and him face replaced on like the Isley brothers. You know what I'm saying? That needs to be like the thumbnail. You know what I mean? Like you need to totally lean into the R&B. You know what I mean? You need.
We got to play on the. Maybe we can do like a Boys to Men picture. We could have like two guys from Boys to Men, and then the other two is me and Wayne, and it'd be an R&B show. Yeah, we can do that.
Keep going with that Boys to Men thing. It's talk about four. You got to find a pair. That's all. Like I said, Casey and JoJo.
Okay, yeah.
All that I ever know, you my knees are made of my show. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm talented.
I guess that's what you call that.
It's all relative to what I think. Remember that.
Wow.
It's relative.
You know what? If that's what you got to tell yourself every day, then go for it. Oh my God. My ears hurt.
I'm sorry. My bad.
My boy. I'm going to have blood.
Well, like, I got such a deep voice. It's hard for me to like mimic a high pitched voice that it just kind of.
No, I know. It's
hard out here for a pimp.
Yeah, when you got a like squeaky ass.
Get the money for the rent.
Easier to talk like you're, got that deep voice, but it's harder for you to talk like you got this squeaky voice. Yeah, no, I get you, man.
John V says, I don't care if you have to train with members of the Russian space station. You just dominate so I can wear my Lance jersey and punch so many people in the mouth.
I don't care if he's not doing good. I still got my Trey. I got my Trey area. Let's go, man. I've been wearing my Trey stuff. We got to support the boy. It's my guy.
Oh man, shout out to Tony Culp. The Tony, man, she'd be winning everything. If there's a show where you can win stuff, Tony got the champion prize. She'd be getting everything. Just
How
so
does she
you
win
know,
it? What is her secret? Tell me so I can win the lotto.
she just shows up and she just bees Tony. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's dropping the right number or just having the right name that gets called. Like she got it.
There you go. She
Like
got it.
Bryant's lucky. I think she's just as passionate about the 49ers as he is.
Wow, that is lucky.
You know what I'm saying?
That's luck, man. That's like that right there. That's rare when you.
And they're probably coloring together right now, like on the kitchen table while listening to us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of their things to do. So like,
nice,
bruh, happiness.
There you go.
Let's see what other things. Oh, the Commanders looks like they're getting sold.
Yeah, I saw that. What do you think of that situation?
So I was thinking, I was like, they talk about all these diversity hires, they do all this stuff and this and that, but when it comes down to it, where's the black ownership? And I know Magic Johnson's in on this one too, but I just want, let's get somebody who's got, a majority of African Americans to represent part of the freaking NFL as far as owner decisions goes, as far as, being able to hire people. To me, once you start getting, a little more diverse with the owners, especially ones that represent the players in the league.
Yeah.
I think we'll have
better rules, a better system for players. Yeah, no, 100%. I agree because they're like the voice of the people. I 100% agree with that. Yeah, no, 100%. Because I mean, over the last couple of years, we've seen more, more black GMs, front office members. Like Brand Carthon, now he's a GM.
Who have not only just got jobs, but have won championships.
Yeah, exactly.
In all different sports.
Yeah, and then coaches now, D'Amico Ryans and 40. Like that's the thing, the 49ers, man, they're like at the forefront of all this. Like their minority hiring is phenomenal. I mean, that's why they get so many, comp picks. Like shit, I might become a coach of the 49ers so they can go get a comp at some point.
I don't even know if it's that. I think they're just hiring the most talented people around.
The best people, but that's the thing.
Yes, because
they're afraid to hire these people, but they're the best, most qualified.
Because they're just hiring everybody else that they feel they could pass off as a good decision.
Yeah.
And Kyle's like, okay, wow, I get the pick of the litter. Okay.
I get the best. You guys are picking the scraps. I'm gonna go pick the best of the best.
Because look at who they were looking at for defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Who came in here? What was his name?
Wilkes.
Kubiak? Not Kubiak, but
no, we got Steve Wilkes.
Yeah, but Steve, who was the guy that they were talking to beforehand? I'm drawing a blank on his name. It runs the 4-3. Who's like the genius of the 4-3
from the Broncos. Vic Fangio. He went to Miami.
Vic Fangio. Yeah. See, they were looking into hiring him. He's a white guy.
Yeah.
The thing is he didn't fit. He wasn't the right choice mathematically.
And this, money wise, and then system, it was like, well, we don't want a system if we're losing D'Amico.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, so we need to go with somebody with our scheme. Well, Steve Wilkes is the best option out here.
He's been he's been a DC. He's been a DB. Like Steve Wilkes that was a phenomenal hire.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Yeah, you don't lose much. You go from D'Amico, who is really good, and I think Steve Wilkes is just going to come right in and pick right up. So,
and I think Saleh was a hire to kind of get inside of Pete Carroll's mind. I think that was to bring in somebody who knew the defense and be able to figure out how the defense works.
Yeah, he worked
with him in the room.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah, he was like a quality control coach. Yeah, he knew the system there. Yeah,
but he also had a lot of good qualities too that went along with that, and I think that's what made it a easier decision. And D'Amico Ryans, like that was just evolution. Like you couldn't stop that from happening. Like he was. If Saleh stayed, D'Amico would be moving on to somewhere else to get a DC position somewhere else. But it's good that it went the way it did because D'Amico was able to move up into the DC and then move out to head coach.
Yeah, it worked
That
well.
might not have happened if he went somewhere else to become
Yeah,
DC.
you're absolutely right. It worked out good because we developed Salah. He became a really good DC, and then it was his time to be a coach, and he got his job. Here comes D'Amico, who was waiting in line. He took his role. He did a great job, and now he's a head coach. And now you got Steve Wilkes, and we'll probably do this. We just keep rolling down the line, man. So
Shout out to CarCast. You all know about Shark CarCast. Go and check him out. Go subscribe. Young cat doing big things in the community. Yeah, but then when I thought about the owners, who can put the majority of that money down and then still have enough money to sign a team and do all that. And that's what I thought, as far as maybe that's why they're not, got a black owner yet, because there's like, who's all a billionaire. You know what I mean? I know you got, Dre's a billionaire, and there's more of them now.
Yeah, there's some music artists. Yeah, I was gonna say Dr. Dre. I think Drake is getting close to that. He's
Why isn't Jay-Z in it? But also at the same time, do they have it all liquid to be able to put it up? You know what I mean? Or, what's the finances like? So maybe they're not in a position to really give, but I still think you could pack a whole bunch of people together and be like, all right, this is the thing. I just would like to see more black ownership in the NFL.
It'll happen. It's a slow process, but it'll happen. It should happen faster. I think it will. Speaking of, let's stay on the topic of front office. So,
oh yeah,
name a little earlier, but there's a man by the name of Adam Peters. I don't know if you heard about him. Assistant GM of the 49ers. So a couple months ago, he turned down a bunch of interviews to stay with the Niners. He's going to stick around with this. It's a GM. He's the talent guy. He's the guy that scouts the talent like crazy. When the draft season comes, this is Adam Peters' season. He's the guy that gets Kittle, Talanoa Hufanga. He's your guy that helps you get those type of players. He's a dub, man. This guy is absolutely amazing. Now today, let me pull up this story. So, there's a lot of people saying that the Houston Texans GM right now may leave or whatever and go back to New England. So Nick Caserio could leave Houston for a return to New England after the draft. This was from Pro Football Talk. And then Mike Silver, he said, to further flesh out the rumor, he says the talk is that 49ers GM Adam Peters would be the target to replace Caserio in Houston. And I mean, I looked at it and I mean, that makes sense. Obviously, D'Amico Ryans, who we just talked about, he's got connection and history with Adam Peters. If I'm D'Amico Ryans, I would naturally call Adam Peters and say, hey, are you ready for a GM spot? Come around my way. Come down to Houston. Why don't you come my way, baby, and be a GM? But again, is Adam Peters waiting for his time in San Francisco? Is he? Because it seems like he's content in Frisco. He's got a great opportunity. He's a scout. He's getting paid money. His family lives here. He knows when the day comes when John Lynch leaves, if he leaves,
he's first seat.
He's automatic. We talked about how evolution with D'Amico is evolution with Adam Peters. So what do you think? What's your take on this whole thing? Do you think he would leave to go to Houston?
I don't know what type of relationship Adam Peters and D'Amico Ryan have.
That's a good question. That's a good answer. Good question.
It could be a better relationship than Adam Peters feels like he would have with Kyle. That would be the big deciding factor. But what I do see is that he already passed up his opportunity. He already had a golden chair. I don't really think it matters what team he goes to. His success is his success. Like, his thoughts are his thoughts. It's not like, there's somebody inside the 49ers building who is the reason for all of his success.
Yeah, they're not feeding him. Nobody's got an earpiece in his. Okay, you got to draft George Kittle. Thanks, Raj.
Right.
Thanks, Raj.
Right. So for him to say no at all those other places, seems like he really would want to be here. And not only that he wants to be here, but there's a certain understanding of time that he has to wait until he gets his promotion. So to me, a couple months later, after doing all that and everything still being the same way it is, and in fact, with what we've seen from Trey Lance coming up, like, why wouldn't you want to stay here and see that out?
Yeah.
You're talking about if you leave before the end of this next season, there might be a chance that you lose out on getting a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you still know you have this window, 2 or 3 years. You stick around with this team,
Oh yeah,
and you win the Super Bowl. And then let's say let's just say a hypothetical. Let's say next year the 49ers win Super Bowl, and let's go. We're all happy. We're hyped up, right? John Lynch might leave because his goal is to win a Super Bowl. He stuck around. He turned down big money in Amazon so he can finish his goal of winning a Super Bowl. Maybe if he accomplishes that, that's something that he notches on his belt, his bucket list. Okay, you know what? I'm done my GM. I've proved I could be a successful GM in this league. I'm going back to the booth. I'm going to make my money. Hey, guess what, Adam Peters? Your time is up. You can be our GM now. You can take over. Smooth segue. And to me, it just, I get it. I would, it makes sense that other teams would want Peters as their GM. And it makes sense Houston, because again, DeMeco, but I think you made a good point, is how good is their relationship? Is that relationship better than what he has with Kyle, right? Because if he was going to become the GM of the 49ers, does he think he'd work better with Kyle than DeMeco? That's the big question. And then he just, like you said, he turned down so many jobs this year, in January, just after the, in the playoffs. He turned down multiple jobs. He's like, no, I'm sticking around, man. So 2 months later, you mean to tell me he's going to change his mind all of a sudden? I don't think so. And again, I think he knows he can wait his time, and that time will come because this team can win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years. Absolutely. If he goes to Houston this year, you think they got a chance to win a Super Bowl? No. He doesn't want to sit there, turn on ESPN, and go, oh, look, the 49ers are Super Bowl. I could have been there. I could have been me. That could have been me. Hell no, he doesn't want.
I just had a thought. Remember how we were talking maybe Kyle Shanahan said all those things to just give Trey what he needed, the fire that he needed to get over that hump.
Mm-hmm.
What if John Lynch is so smitten because that's his golden ticket?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got 1 year left before, I'm supposedly probably going to leave. I got to let Adam Peters take my spot. And the guy we've been waiting for this whole time finally shows up. You know what I'm saying? What if he's, thinks he got his golden ticket and he's, running home to tell his grandpa?
Man, that'd be some some crazy shit. You never know, man, what goes behind the scenes. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But if I had to guess, and if I had to answer, do I think that Peters is leaving anytime soon? Absolutely not. I think he's a stick around. He's gonna chase this ring with John Lynch, and then we'll see what happens with John Lynch, and then maybe Adam Peters gets his shot to be a GM. But I think he's so content. I mean, from things I've heard behind the scenes, and per source, I know Adam Peters is happy here because he's getting paid very well to be doing the job that he's so good at, and he's making himself look great every year with these draft picks. Like, let's be honest, he hits on late round picks now, like, just easy. It's like clockwork now. You're like, oh, who's gonna be the late round pick that he hits on? And it's just like, he comes up with these gems, and eventually he'll get a GM job. But he's so content because he's getting paid good. He lives near his family. All his family's in Cupertino. He's chilling. He's relaxing, and he doesn't need to have all this stress. When the time comes, he will absolutely be a GM in this league. There's no question on my mind that he'll be. If he wanted to be a GM right now, he could be a GM right now. But he's content where he's at. Again, because guess what? 49ers have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl ring. That would be absolutely crazy to turn that opportunity away, to go on a GM on a crappy team and rebuild them. There's just no, unless you're a guy like Rand Carthon, who that was your dream of being a GM, and you got this opportunity, and you're one of the first, black GMs in the NFL. That's amazing for him. But Adam Peters knows his time will come.
Yeah, we got John Jay from 49ers Ultimate Report in the house. Make sure to go check him out.
What's up, my man?
He shows up sometimes on Fridays. We got the Friday night call-in.
Yeah.
I've seen you had a Friday show going last Friday.
Yeah, I always do Friday. I used to do a call-in show on Tuesday, but everybody's been asking me, yo, can we do a call-in? Can we do a call? I was like, screw it, let's do it tonight. I opened it up. It was pretty fun, man. It's always good to have the call-ins because I don't even have to say much. I just let them talk, and they get to say what they got to say. Some fans just want to vent. I just let them vent. It's like therapy session for them, you know. So it was fun.
I had Jason Hurley on,
Yeah,
49ers cap.
nice.
Oh yeah. Do you know that guy?
Yeah, I do. He's the capologist, man. He knows all the numbers.
Yep.
I need him on my show one of these days. Be fun.
Yes.
I'll ask him all the numbers.
It seems like he really likes coming on doing shows. So don't hesitate. I think I hit him up on Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he was on the show Friday. So it's not like he even needed a week in advance. He was like, yeah.
I've seen him on a lot of shows lately. So yeah, I'll hit him up, man, and ask him what the hell is the salary cap right now. I don't know. What's the salary cap, my man?
Salary cap right now is at like 3.7-ish.
Something like that. Yeah. He knows it to the T.
So and he explained that you only get cap hits on your top 51 players.
Yeah, so the last two don't. So that's why Brock Purdy doesn't get cap hit this year, because he's making $8.
And then with our draft picks this year, if we don't move up, it'll essentially only cost us $700,000 towards the cap, because you're essentially only paying the difference on those players being more than what was already on there, the highest 51. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, yeah. That's what I figured. It was like a cheap amount for those draft picks. So that's great. Only $700K
on top, added to the cap. So that's not how much they'll all cost altogether, but that's what the cap hit is. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know first round picks get like a couple million or whatever. So
we'll be down to like 2.8 or something, like 2.6 or something like that.
Wow.
After we sign our
money to squeeze out, we could go sign Laquon Treadwell tomorrow.
We also can probably still restructure and gain about 30 million.
30.
There's like 15 you can get off of one player still, and then there's like 3 other people you can get to get the other 15.
And that's probably what they're going to do to sign.
I think Eric Armstead's like 8 million.
Yeah, you could, but you could also extend them, and I think that creates a little bit more cap on it, if I remember correctly. So they'll probably do something soon to get these contracts.
Bro, we could have Yannick Ngakoue.
We need him, man. I would love him.
I think we totally need him. Like, if you want to go all in to win a Super Bowl, I think you're going to have to set that defense up. You know what I mean? That other part of that line, because to me, it makes no sense to have 3 bangers on that line and a question mark.
I know, me too. And I know they're putting a lot of stock in Drake Jackson, and I hope he steps up and has this breakout season. Like, I want him to, but it's still an unknown, right? We still don't know. You know, Ngakoue could get you 8 sacks, right? And he'd be a money, maybe 10. He could probably get you 10. And I know they're probably going to draft an edge in the draft, but will a 3rd round draft pick at edge be enough? I don't think
not coming out, I don't think.
Out maybe in a year or two.
Yeah.
Well, now we want Adam Peters to get that GM spot. We want John Lynch, like we just talked about. Go get him, man. Figure it out. Pay the guy. Get your line to be elite. Put the best players on this team. Nobody will stop this defense. Nick Bosa, Yannick, Hargrave, and Armstead, get out of here.
If you're not going to go after a quarterback to seal the deal, you need to go after this last piece on the defensive line.
I agree. It's over.
Yeah. Game, set, match.
Game, set, match. It's done.
Anything else you think we need to talk on?
I think that we hit everything. But real quick, Ryan, next week, I know we usually do our shows Thursday. I may not be able to make it because next week is the Warriors game 3. I might be at Chase Center per a source. We'll see.
Per source. Well, if you want to do it a different day, like Wednesday.
How things are rolling. I got the show with Wayne on Wednesday, so.
Oh, that's right.
I'll try to.
I also have the Rivals at 6.
Yeah, I'll see if I can move it around, but if not, we'll get back to you.
No worries.
The following week, or we can move it to another day. But yeah, per source, I will be in Chase Center, and it's my birthday next Friday, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta wait. You gotta work. Or you got the days off?
No, I'm working, man. Working.
Oh, you can't get too lit.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not young anymore, but I still get lit. I'll still get lit.
When I worked at the sawmill, I took the day of my 21st birthday off, right? Didn't think about anything. Took the day of my 21st birthday off.
Yeah.
And I went and drank. and like I was kicking with some guys from from the Navy, because there's a Navy base right next to where I lived, essentially the Everett Naval Station.
Mhm.
So we knew a lot of Navy guys, and they're trying to get me to puke, and Ryan ain't puking. You know what I'm saying? I used to, before I was 21, I used to work at a sawmill,
Okay.
and we used to go into the bar, and I'm not 21, so I would wait a couple minutes. They would go in there and be smoking my cigarette. They would go in there, get the pitchers, get the glasses, sit down. I would go in there, pour my beer, wait for the bartender to look at me, and then pound the whole beer.
Oh wow. Oh my god.
Because guess what? Guess who's not asking for my ID after that?
The bartender.
The bartender. And then guess what? Guess who was buying cases, 24 packs of beer out the back of the bar before 2:00 hit?
Oh my
Because we
god.
get off at like 1:15, right? So
AM?
yes, in the morning. And so we only had
Wow.
45 minutes to get our crunk on. So we would just drink as many pitchers as we could in like 30 minutes. And then we would all pay $20 for a 24 pack of Schlitz. And then we go underneath the overpass and drink until about 8:00 in the morning.
Wow. Y'all were
But
getting torn up.
so they were trying to get me, to puke. Well, I tried to call in the next day,
Mhm.
and my excuse me, my boss was like, "No, you asked for your birthday off. You got that. You're coming in today." I
Oh
said,
wow.
"All right." So I come in, and they're like, they want to see you upstairs. I was like, "Okay." Oh shit, I'm in
Oh,
trouble, right? So I go up in there. This is like one of them, prefab offices boxes. You know what I mean? Like a half of one.
hmm
I'm at the far end. He walks in and he goes, "Whoo!" Says, "You weren't lying." I said, "Bro, I took 2 showers." You know
Oh
what I'm
my
saying? Like, I've
god.
taken 2 showers to try and sober myself up, and I haven't. They put me on top of the log hall. And if you don't know what the log hall is, that's where and they drop them down low, and then they roll onto a conveyor belt. Well, sometimes they get stuck, and you're sitting there wrestling with 2-3 ton logs, 4 stories up, you know. And here I am on a catwalk, still drunk, wrestling 2-3 ton logs, bro. Some of the craziest, scariest stuff, but also fun as hell.
Oh, I
Just
young
fucking
experiences. I was in college in Las Vegas, UNLV, man. There were some I'll tell you what, there's some fun times back then, but we'll save that for another day. But yeah, I think we're good. I don't think there's anything else to cover. I think we hit it all. And yeah,
you got
next week.
anything going?
What's
You
up?
got anything going on the rest of the week? I know you go live like all the time, but do you got
Yeah,
anything set permanent?
tomorrow, Friday, I'll probably do my call-in show. I feel that was cool. I'll try that when I get a moment. And then nah, man, I just been so busy, man. So honestly, I haven't even been able to do much. So Monday we got Larry Kruger, Wednesday I got Wayne, Thursday me and you, and then Friday call-in show. That's pretty much it. Pretty simple schedule.
Larry. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Larry's the man. I like Larry.
Yeah.
Larry's Larry, but I love Larry, man. He's a good dude.
I I just hope it was all worth it. I hope for him it was all worth it. Because it's not going to look good if he's any sort of wrong
No, I mean
to
it was
me.
but that's the thing. It was just a prediction. So people predict things right. I predicted things right.
Now wait. Now
Wrong.
wait. Me saying a prediction here on this show like this. Okay.
Okay.
That's different than me making multiple videos acting like it happened already.
No, he's just trying to. People come at him, so he's gonna say his take. But and also, I mean, he does this for a living, so he's got to get the money, the views, the show.
That's why I said, is it worth it? I hope it's worth it for him.
I hope.
I'm just saying.
If you're getting paid per view, you gotta get
But-
them views up.
And if you lose the respect of people, then you might not get clicks later on down the road.
But I think I don't think. See, I don't know. I feel like as I talk to him a lot, I think just people are so emotionally charged, and they read his stuff wrong. Like, they're not seeing what he's saying, and when he says things, he kind of makes it make sense. But you're right. There's gonna be people that absolutely lose respect.
When he said that they're going to trade Trey Lance because they love him, I was like, bro, and they're not ready to they're not in a building phase with it. Like, I was just like,
But
dude,
he doesn't want them to trade
stop
him.
with that.
He doesn't want them to trade him. But a lot of people think they're gonna trade. I mean, again, it's smoke season. It's the off season. It's the rumors mill season. People are gonna just throw out like last week there was some, or earlier this week there was some crazy cockamamie Trey Lance rumor from NFL Research on Twitter. I never even heard his page, and all of a sudden people are, oh, is Trey Lance getting traded? Is he getting traded? Look, these guys posted it's got 100 likes on their tweet. I'm like, who the hell are these guys? Nobody. People just make stuff up, bro. That's what it is. It's boring. There's nothing about.
Yeah.
People want to make things up.
If
people want to talk about
it's when you base your theory in something that doesn't seem realistic is when I'm just like, stop it.
No, I get it, and trust me, that's why when I
need some semblance of math in the equation.
No, I get it. And when I come live, I try to shoot down these things. That's like my whole thing is, okay, let's look at these rumors. Let's calm down. Let's make sense of it. Because me, when I open up my social media, I get, oh my God, Raj, did you see this? Is this rumor true? Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? And I'm like, 9 times out of 10, it's not. It's just people want to talk about stuff. They throw stuff at the wall. They want their take to stick. And what are we doing? We're talking about it all off season. It gives us things to talk about because people like to be heard and like to talk. So that's really what it is. But you can't believe anything until you see something actually happen. But again, people are going to throw all their theories, their hot takes, their opinions, because what do people want? People want to be right, and they want gratification. They want to stroke their ego and say, ha, ha, I told you so. I called it. I told you. I told you. That's what they want, man. They want to be right about things. So you make these silly predictions, and then if you're right, oh, see, I'm the GOAT. I told you. Listen to me. Not like I've done it before. I do it all the time.
Yeah. That was funny. Just real quick. I was on Sunil's show last year around this time. And he's like, so will Alex Mack come back to the team or will he retire? And I'm like, bro, with the way they're sitting on their hands, they know he's coming back. Book it. He's coming back. Later, 12 hours later, I was totally wrong. He had retired.
That was crazy. I was someone last night on how it was so indecisive. Everybody's like, oh yeah, he's coming back. He's coming back. They told John Lynch he's coming back. I remember posting about it. And then literally he takes the restructure. And then I'm like, oh, this is not a good sign. And then boom, like the next day or like a couple hours later after the restructure is like, oh, he retired. I'm like, come on, man. You went through the whole off season. They went through the draft. They thought you were coming back. And then you bail on him. It's like, what the hell? Thank God Jake Brendel stepped up. I don't think he was like the greatest, but he wasn't bad. He was pretty good for just being thrown into the fire. But yeah, Alex Mack, man, he retired in freaking June, 2 months after the draft. I was pissed.
No professional courtesy.
Yeah, I was pissed.
I really, I would not rehire him.
Yeah, 100%. I would put him down as unrehirable. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So with that, I think we got through it all. Raj, want to thank you for coming out tonight.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming out, most especially. You guys are the ones that make this. We really appreciate you. Also, we had some latecomers. We had 49ers Raj 209 show up. We also had 49ers Throwback, one of our most important people in the community. He's like in every single show.
How does he do it? How is he on every show? I could be on like I could be on midnight and he's on, and then I go on like 3 a.m. He's on. I don't know, how is he on every show? My man, how are you on every show? Tell me. You got clones?
You know what? I'm sure he's probably the only one who knows how many 49ers content creators there are. Because he's probably subscribed to every single one of them.
He might. I don't know.
Oh. Shout out to Corey Davis. You know my man Corey Davis, Raj?
I believe I do. I think I've talked to him before. Shout
Corey
out to
Davis.
All these great people.
Good dude. He got a show on Thursday night. Go check him out. You can do trivia if you ever want to. You can just jump in the chat and answer the questions, and he'll take it down. And then we'll put your score on the website.
Nice.
So check him out later tonight. But with that, we all appreciate you for tuning in, and we out.